Welcome, my name is Tishar and this is StarMade. In today's episode we're going to look at the next 5 ships that have been submitted to the build initiative. And I think after this we probably have one more episode to go before we have seen all the submissions, because at the time of recording the deadline has been passed, so no more new submissions can be submitted to the challenge. So we're ending the stream of ships that have been built for this particular initiative, and there are already quite a lot, as you can see. So a couple of more to go, and then we have a whole fleet of racing ships. Let's start with this one on the side over here. This is the Russia, and this is a ship with very nice racing stripes. So yeah, this is a very racing aesthetic that this ship has going. And also the overall shape of the ship itself is very well done. Very streamlined for racing by the looks of it. We've got some very nice detailing as well. Some antenna bits at the front over here for the main fuselage, and some fins on the bottom and the back of the ship over here. Always gives a ship a nice streamlined look, although they're not needed in space, of course, but for a racing ship it's very appropriate. We have some very big engines to the side, on both sides, as you can see. It's very symmetrical, of course, and a very big output over here for our engine. So this is a ship that has probably a lot of thrust going forward. Also the detailing on the main base of the ship was not neglected. Very well done. Very neatly integrated in the rest of the ship. And then we've got this cockpit at the back over here. As you can see here, there's a pilot seat over there for one pilot. So it's probably a ship for one primary racer. And we even have at the back some more windows that we can look into the inside, because this ship does have a bit of interior going forward. I quite like how the red bit was done here with the force fields. Gives it a very mechanical look, is perhaps the word I'm looking for, not sure. The entrance for the interior is over here by the looks of it. No USD dock, but it's not really needed. It's at least an entrance to get into the ship. So like I said, I quite like the overall design of the ship itself, the shape, and basically interconnecting all the different parts within the hull of the ship. It's very smoothly done, especially with the integration of the slab work over here to the side. So let's check out what's on the inside of the ship itself. So here we are in astronaut mode again. That's the back door of the ship. So let's press this button. It opens up the door. And by the way, last update, we now have sound for doors. Not if you press the button by the looks of it, but yeah, if you open them yourself, then they do have sound. Very basic airlock by the looks of it. You have some gravity over here. Pressing the button just basically flips the doors from the out and the inside. So nothing really special about that. Then we go up here, and this is immediately the access to the core with some maintenance areas by the looks of it, at least some mechanical bits, and this is also the living area by the looks of it. So we've got a kitchen with what I assume is a refrigerator, some seating area, and for space for 2 beds. So it's basically a crew of 2, a pilot and a co-pilot by the looks of it. Then we can go up here. Then this is the window in the back. You can look outside. Then up here we have the cockpit access. Has 2 buttons to do something. We'll check that out in a bit. I'll probably do that in build mode, because that's probably going to move stuff on the outside of the ship. But I think that's about it for the interior. Yeah, there's not no other place we can go, so let's hop into the core. Here we are. I want to check out these buttons. does this one do? Ah, flaps. Engine flaps. Ah, okay. So this is basically if you need to brake in atmosphere at least. Very nice detailing that's basically hidden if the flaps are down. Very engine-like. I wonder what this purple block is. Anyway, I have to check that out in a bit. Yeah, it's different on the side, so we've got some detailings going on. Yeah, both the top, bottom, and on the side. Of course, not on the inside, but it's the same on this side, I think. So nicely done. And if I press it again, it's probably going to go back to the original state. Yeah, it is. I like that. And what does this button do? Nothing I can see immediately. Ah, here we are. This is basically the landing gear. So the ship is able to be landed on a planet. Now I'm wondering, if I press this again, the button please, like this. It's probably sticking out, yeah, slightly further than the landing gear itself. So I'm wondering if you do it again. Yeah, if you press the landing gear, it doesn't retract the flaps. That's something you can link together, because if you forget to retract the flaps, then the landing gear is not really going to work exactly if you want, because it's going to be in the way of basically your landing spot. But nice little features to have for this ship. It gives a bit of life to it, and yeah, overall a very well done design. The second ship in the line is the Mira. It's a very yellow ship, and I have seen a couple of pictures on the Discord of this ship, so I know approximately what this ship can do, but we'll get back to that later. It's basically a winged design. We've got this main fuselage over here with a double cockpit, so there is only space for a pilot and a co-pilot, and they can't really interact with each other except through radio contact, I think, because there's no real interior on this ship as far as I know. We've got these twin barrels at the front. I'm not sure if they're going to be weapons or tractor beam or anything like that, because there's no systems inside, so it's not really something I can determine, except that there are weapon barrels. Then we've got these inputs over here. On minor thing, you can see the inside by the looks of it. Yeah, there's nothing behind this, so you can probably close that off with some armor or perhaps systems. And then we've got some big antennas attached to the wing bits over here. It's some nice detailing and naming, going all the way to the back to the main fuselage, and again with this purple block. Very nicely done for detailing for the engine part, and this goes all the way to the back with these wingy bits for the tail end. So we've got the main engines at the back in the middle, and then we've got additional engines to the side where the wings are attached to give this bird some thrust. And at the bottom we've got some nice detailing going on as well, and even a landing block over here, this the docking block. Then at the front we have some buttons, and if I press this one, this will open the cockpit itself, so that you can go inside, and this one in the back will close it behind you, and then you are inside. The core is on this side, so yeah, that's basically where the main pilot is going to be. Like I said, this is all the interior there is, because on the inside, as you can see here, it's mainly some of the basic systems and nothing else beside that. But that's not the main role of this ship. The main role is probably the logic setup for this and what it does. So we can go through the options in the cockpit itself. As you can see here, we've got 3 buttons. So let's press the first one. If you press this one, as you can see, the wings fold open, and they form this this X-like shape. So it's basically an X-wing, but not, sort of. I did notice that the movement speed of the wings were very slow. I'm not sure if that's deliberate or not, or if there are no mass enhancers on this ship or not. We've got some nice detailing in the side of the wings as well. So it's just not only flat, but some detailing as well. So let's press this second button, see what that does. And as you can see, now the middle main fuselage is rotating. Also very slow, so like I said, not sure if it's deliberate or not. And now we have this ship that's orientated in a different direction. And what's very clever is that the detailing and the main fuselage over here line up very nicely with the rotated wing bits over here. So that's very nicely done. I did notice, by the way, that there's a door over here. So that's basically the logic access by the looks of it. So, like I said, no additional interior over here. And now we can press the third button, see what that does. Ah, landing gear. Again, same problem with the first ship. If I press the landing gear, it would be nice if this rotating wing bits would be basically reset to the main configuration, so that you can land. Because at the moment I can't, so I have to press both these buttons again, so it goes back to the original position. And very, very slowly. Like I said, mass enhancers are your friend. But very nicely done. Very cool design. Very unique in shape as well. And just the right amount of detail, I think. So one of my favorite designs up till now, I think. Third ship of the lineup is the Lynx Custom. This is basically a racing shuttle of some sort. Very small build, very cute, with some large engines at the wings. And we've got some docking options at the back over here and an access door. Also have an access door on the side over here and a nice cockpit view at the front. Not much going on at the bottom, just a docking point, and that's about it. So if we take the door over here, nice sound, you can access the cockpit. Got some options over here and the core access with some sort of basic modules, and then we've got some access to the back area with a very small living space and a bed. So it's got a bit more going on than you might think at first. And then we've got this very small airlock at the back over here that will allow you to dock to something. So basic design, but very well executed for such a small build, and some nice features for the space you've got going on. But yeah, not much is possible beside that, I think. This next submission is the Burley class troop transport. There was a bit of contention about this ship because in the thread about the build initiative, it was said this is not a racing ship, and I quite agree with this. Even in the name, it's not a racing ship; it's a troop transport and drop ship. So not something that's built for specific racing purposes, although it can probably be used for that. But it was submitted officially, so I will cover it. First thing I did notice is that this turret on top of the ship is very big compared to the rest of the ship, because it's a quite compact design. It's basically a boxy design with some of the thrusters to the side here that can be moved, I think, at least according to what I see for the rail blocks. Then we've got this cockpit at the front where the dropship pilot will land the troops on a planet. I at least assume that's the case. I've got some different access options for this ship in the back and to the side by the looks of it. We'll check that out in a bit. See what's going on with that. And some nice armor paneling to keep important components safe by the looks of it. and that's about it. So let's see what's going on with these doors over here. Open this. This is basically access for components by the looks of it. And on the back over here we don't have any buttons on the outside to open this, or no, I don't think you have buttons on the outside, so you have to open everything from the inside by the looks of it. Does make some sense, but if you are outside the ship, not sure how you're going to get in. Yeah, there's no other buttons I can see, so you have to basically be inside the ship to do that. Let's look at the cockpit with some of the controls and some information of where you are and the systems. By the looks of it, and then we have some access to, I assume this is a bed or something. Then going down to the transport area itself. This is probably where the troops are going to be sitting, and if we press this button, nothing happens. Oh, it opens on this side. Don't think it actually works the way it's intended to be working. By the way, these logic lines, it's something you need to do something about as well, because that's a bit ugly. Let's see if we press it again. Is it going to fix it? It's at least going to close, so that's fine. And then do we have a button for the back door? Don't see a button anywhere. And I think this is some sort of tank that's docked over here. You can probably drive out, but oh, there's the button. Here you go. Okay, so this is yeah, the access ramp to the back. It doesn't fall down, so you kind of have to jump from it. Or it's perhaps an elevator type ramp that's possible as well. But quite compact, and troop transport could be a nice challenge for a different build initiative, but I don't think it will fit in this particular build initiative all that much. But quite a cute, nice design for a dropship itself. The last ship on our list is the Crimson Flash, and this is a very aggressive looking ship, and very red of course, so it's very customized for racing, because red makes it faster. At least that's the opinion of some people. And I do know some things about this ship, because I did catch some of the replays for the streams this ship was built in. So I did see some early progress on it. And there's a couple of features that we probably have to turn on, because I do know there's additional rail features added to this. Like I said, it's very aggressive looking, because we have these pointy wings at the side of the ship, and this very pointy type front end of the ship, and even a very strong chin, or whatever you want to call it. Some nice little details in the middle over here, and in here we have some sort of power core going on with some additional logic features. Entrance is over here, we'll check that out in a bit, and then this continues on to the actual engine itself. Very big one, as you can see here, so lots of thrust available for this racing ship, and nicely framed by some more wingy bits, armor panels, whatever you want to call them, and very nicely done overall in shape. It's very well put together. But let's check out if we can activate some of those rail features, but let's check out the entrance and the interior first. As you can see here at the entrance, there's a gravity block over here that points in a different direction than we normally see in most ships. So this ship is basically vector thrust orientated as far as gravity is concerned. So we are going to flip ourselves in gravity. Now you can see, you can look down on all the other ships that are parked. I don't see a button, or did I miss it, for the airlock? No, I think it's just an airlock that you have to use by hand. So we're going to do that. This will lead into this area over here. We've got some access to some of the logic by the looks of it, and some other maintenance stuff for systems. We can even look down onto the main power core in the ship itself. So we can go up here. We have the core access over here with some more computer stuff and a work area. Nice chairs, by the way. Then if you go up here, you have a sort of seating area, I think, where you can eat, and a nice view through the window over here. And then if you go up here, then this is probably, yeah, the topmost floor. This is basically the cockpit area of some sort, although you're not looking the way you're traveling because that would be up. But yeah, basically the setup that you would expect from a ship like this. Very expensive, like as far as setup is concerned. So let's grab the core access, or did I miss something? It's over here. Medical and sleeping quarters, by the looks of it. So quite a bit more interior than I was expecting, actually. Where was the core access? One level down, I think. Not here. Did I get lost in this ship? You're kidding, right? Okay, here it is. So back to this view again. So like I said, it's very differently orientated than most of the ships we've seen. But I want to try to figure out how to do all this logic stuff. So I think I'm going to have to go into flight mode. Yeah, over here. So we've got change mode and spin up reactor. So I don't have to search for buttons myself. So spin reactor you can press, and then this is going to go on. Yeah, this is very disorientating to look at, but it does work. It's a bit choppy at times, but it's just basically the lag because there's so many entities in this sector at the moment. But yeah, it is spinning. So if you press it again, then okay, it's doesn't have a stop function, so we have to try to figure it out ourselves, I think. Something over here, probably. Can I press this? Yeah. Okay, now it stops. Just to make sure that I am not overloading this sector with all types of moving things. But I'm quite curious about this changing mode now. This one, so press this. So this rotates everything and then moves it back. Yeah, it moves it back. Still going. Ooh, very nice. I quite like this look, how this is done with the swings swept back in this position. Looks very fast this way as well. And I quite like the additional length it gives the ship, because I think this is going outside the bounds of the 75 meters, but that's okay, because in the resting mode it is within the bounds of the size limit. So this is one way to get around it. Quite clever, actually. So if we press it again, yeah, then it moves back. So it's rotating does it first. Yeah, first rotating, then moving the wings. Yeah, and then it moves back to the original position they were in. What additional thing you could add is add a button to just do the rotating thing, or just do the sliding thing of the wings. If you really want to, then you can basically yeah, position the ship or shape the ship in every way you want. But quite nice to add these features to this ship. There's quite a lot of ships in the lineup that have moving features within the fuselage of their hulls, so wingy bits or other things that can be moved. Quite nice to have something to press and to do instead of only racing within these ships. But I'm quite impressed with all the additions that were added to this lineup. So like I said, I probably have one more episode to go with all the remaining ships that were submitted to the the build initiative, then we're probably going to have to wait until the judges make their call and see how long they take to make an update video on that. But we'll see that for later. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.